Thank you. Simply the best. Well, talking about simply the best, they're coming now. Because now we're going to have a fireside chat amongst two of the most successful Spanish entrepreneurs in the world. Let's say that one of them, at least, is probably one of the most important CEOs, entrepreneurs in this South Summit. And the other one as well, let's say. Let me say, this is going to be a fireside chat between two companies, and the common word is disruption. One of them is Uber, and is disrupting the B2C market, or the industry, let's say. The other one is Afiniti, and is disrupting the B2B artificial intelligence industry. But I was talking to them backstage, and I was telling Uber, are you really disrupting the industry? Because according to Christensen's theory, Uber doesn't actually fit in the true definition of disruption. Why? Because the services that provides is a direct challenge to taxis, but it's a pre-existing market. And he says, interesting, I like it. I say, I'm going to give you some caña, as we say in Spanish, no? Caña? There's no translation. I'm going to give you a bit of, I says, yes, I like it. Well, Uber likes to fight for their rights. So here they are, the two of them, in a fireside chat to talk about how they truly disrupt their markets. And I'm sure we're up to a few surprises. From Uber, we have the founder, Óscar Salazar. And from Afiniti, we have the CEO of Iberia and Latam, Alonso Aznar. Please, let's welcome Óscar and Alonso. Welcome. Welcome. I said it, but I said that you gave me permission to say that. Are you truly disrupting? Are you truly disrupting?
We are truly disrupting.
They believe they are. Let's hear it from them. Thank you.
Well, I don't think we are. It depends who you ask, right? If you ask the taxi drivers, then we're disruptive. I think disruptive is the word that losers use when somebody's eating, their pie. I prefer to use the word innovation. So you don't start a business saying, okay, I'm going to disrupt this. You start a business or a company because you want to make it better. You want to make an industry better. You want to innovate. Disruption is an outcome, and it's mostly used by the people that are actually losing the battle. So is Uber disruptive? I don't know. You ask around. And you're going to find that some people consider it disrupted, some people, doesn't, and it's all good, We agree to disagree.
Okay, so thank you very much. Wow, the turn up. Thanks, the South Summit, for having us. I'm sure all of you must be thinking, what is Afiniti and what the hell is that guy doing sitting next to the co-founder of Uber? I'm thinking exactly the same as you, but hold that thought with me for a second, and let me introduce you to my friend Óscar. Óscar, first and foremost, is a great person. He's a very smart guy.
Thank you.
He's an investor. He's an advisor. He's a technologist. He co-founded this small company called Uber, which is probably one of the most disruptive businesses we can say ever created. And I think, everybody is willing to hear to you and listen to your story.
Well, thank you very much, Alonso, for having me here. The journey was pretty straightforward. Out of school, I went to school with Garrett, one of the founders. Pitched me the idea back in 2008, 2009. I joined the team. It was just Garrett and me, so it was much a team. I helped design the product and the technology. I was a founding CTO. Then between Travis, Garrett, and I, we launched the pilot in San Francisco. And the rest is history. I'm not longer, in the company. The company is a public company right now. What I decided to do is, 2 years ago, I decided to leave New York, and now I'm based in Barcelona. I live in Spain, and I've been looking at different opportunities in the tech space, working with founders, understanding, the companies they're building, and it's interesting, to see how Spain is becoming, a more interesting place for technology companies, and that brought me to Alonso, which I met through a common friends, and I was very impressed about his work in Afiniti. we were talking, I remember the first time we met, and he told me about Afiniti.
We had a tequila.
With a lot of tequila. So I remember a little bit of the conversation, but one of the things that I do remember is he mentioned that they were using AI, and when I hear the word AI, I say, well, this is bullshit, right? So that's just my gut feeling, because first of all, it's called machine learning, not artificial intelligence. Because I don't think it's that intelligent what we have right now. I think we have a long road, to walk, to truly achieve, computer-based intelligence or decision making. So I learned more about Afiniti, and actually it's one of the few companies, in my opinion, that are actually leveraging machine learning for something interesting that actually makes sense in their industry. Because right now, the current environment is, you have a startup, you just add machine learning or AI to your deck, and your valuation just went up, 10 million. So this is pretty much how machine learning is being used right now. So it's very refreshing, to see companies like Afiniti leveraging, really machine learning to actually enhance and make processes better. So and I'm going to stop because here's the guy from Afiniti. I think you should explain a little bit more about how Afiniti actually is leveraging this technology.
Thank you. And it's true, we know how to use artificial intelligence. And by the way, who knows what artificial intelligence is? Who would know how to define artificial intelligence? No one? Okay, let me do an example. The founder of Afiniti does this much better than I do, but just follow me for 1 second, okay? Okay, you got that? Can everyone stand up, please? Please? Can everyone stand up? This is AI.
Okay.
You stand up as well. Okay, let's all do it together, all right? 1, 2, 3. Not quite. Once again. Last one. Perfect. This is AI. This is the heart of AI, learning and converge. So at Afiniti, we know how to use AI. I'm going to tell you the 4 key things that I believe makes Afiniti unique in this space. First thing, we know how to use AI. So we are solving an issue with AI. We take data, we find patterns, we use those patterns to predict human behavior, and we use those predictions to optimize how big enterprises allocate resources and employees when it relates to their client. It could be in a call center, it could be in a chat, it could be in store. And we work with the big enterprises in the world, telecom companies, banking, insurance, companies like AT&T, United Healthcare, or AXA. Second, we know how we can precisely measure the value we deliver to our clients. We can tell our clients precisely every incremental dollar we are delivering to them. This is key. And going back to Óscar's points, we keep seeing artificial intelligence companies that they cannot measure the value. There is no return attached to it. So if you're an investor, you are funding your startup, or you are trying to deploy artificial intelligence, please make sure you can measure the value. Otherwise, it makes no sense. You should move to the next thing. Last year at Afiniti, we delivered over $1 billion in proven value to our clients. Third thing, our commercial proposal. I believe we have the most disruptive commercial proposal in the B2B market. With Afiniti, there's no CapEx, there's no investment, there's no fixed fees, nothing. We just take a share of the incremental revenue we deliver to our clients. From a financial point of view, these are infinite returns. Just think about it for a second. With the same fixed cost base, we are generating fresh revenue. So let's pick an example of one of our clients. We are delivering to them $500 million in incremental annual revenue with a 60% gross margin. That is $300 million of cash generation. That is transformative to our clients. And fourth thing, and the most important thing, I truly believe we have one of the best tech teams ever put together. We are missing Óscar there. I hope he will join us soon. But we have some of the Afiniti guys here. Don't hire them, but you should talk to them. And when it comes to people, you should spend time and you should spend money on it. Because a good idea with a bad team is gonna fail. A good team can achieve anything. And quoting a big US CEO, he told me the other day, look, Alonso, when it comes to hiring and replacing, it's better to have a hole than to have an asshole in the company. So, and that is totally true.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 key things why I believe Afiniti is disruptive. We know how to use AI, we can measure it, there's a disruptive commercial proposal, and we have the best team. I think now you can join us, right?
Yeah. Yes. If I was running the company, I would join you.
But I think, enough about Afiniti now. So, look, Óscar, you're an investor. So, where are you spending your time now, and what is the next big thing you see coming?
I would be lying if I tell you that I know what's the next big thing, because usually the next big thing, nobody sees it until it becomes a big thing, right? So, what I'm doing right now, I'm taking a different approach. We're entering, finally, there's a lot of capital that was created, just to fund startups and ideas and founders in the past 10 years. So we have created different categories. For example, Airbnb change in industry, the ride sharing change in the industry, and artificial intelligence. So we're seeing a lot of movement, pretty much in the ecosystem. I'm taking a different approach. What I'm saying is, okay, I'm not going to invest in companies. I'm not going to follow trends, but I'm going to start looking at non-obvious sectors and areas instead of just like jumping into the platform that everybody is doing, right? For example, I'm not doing ride sharing anymore. I'm already exposed to that sector. I'm not doing anything related to social media. I'm actually trying to see, okay, what are the big problems that the world has right now, and who's actually working on a solution for those problems. And I see 2 problems, or there's more, but I see 2. One is climate change. And everybody's complaining about climate change. And everybody's saying, okay, climate change is gonna kill all the humans on Earth, blah, blah. And they might be right. However, very few companies are actually doing something about it, and that's a big problem. And the climate is changing. So there's a lot of companies that I'm actually taking a look right now. It's like, for example, just a very simple one in agriculture. How can you use technology to improve, agricultural techniques? Some countries that were actually cold right now are becoming more tropical. Therefore, there's new diseases, that are actually moving from countries to other countries. So who's actually working on finding these new solutions, for the new problems that are being created by this shift? The other sector that I see that I think is a big problem is, is technology itself. And I'm just going to give an example. Would you give your car keys to your 7-year-old son or daughter? The answer is no. You're not crazy, right? However, you give them phones. You don't explain anything to them. You just give it to them. They have access to the internet. They have access to pornography. They have access to violence. They have access to all this misinformation that it's out there. And I think that's a problem. I think it's a problem because nobody's actually looking for solutions or even questioning. And I'm a technologist, don't get me wrong. The impact the technology is having, on the society. So I'm actually looking into companies right now that are bringing solutions so humans, we can interact better with technology instead of technology being used, to shape the way we think and the way we actually act as a society. So for me, these are the 2 areas. There's technology itself, and I think that's going to be the big wave. If you look at Silicon Valley, a lot of the big players are not letting their kids to use computers. A lot of the schools right now in the US are actually banning phones. France just passed a screen-safe classroom law. So there's obviously a problem. So coming back to your original question, it's like, what do I think is the big trend or the new wave? I don't know. I just see problems. I see. When we started Uber, I didn't see, okay, ride sharing is going to be the next big thing. I saw a big problem. Yeah. I lived in 5 countries, at that time, and I always had a problem getting a taxi. So I said, this is a big problem, right? So this is my approach to investing. I invest in companies or people that are actually trying to solve big problems.
So look, I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think we are wrongly facing some of the issues we have. When it comes to artificial intelligence, for example, we keep seeing people saying, "Oh my God, robots are gonna come. They're gonna take over the world. All this singularity stuff, and oh Lord, come and help us," which is just simply not gonna happen. When it comes to robots and artificial intelligence, if you put together all the computational power in the world, like every machine, every computer, every smartphone, it equals to the brain of one human, depending on the human, but the brain of one human.
Yeah.
And the algorithms behind it are far, far away from that. There's no way we can replicate, there is no evidence we can replicate emotions, we can replicate basic semantics, we can replicate visual recognition. So in reality, all this is that for Hollywood and for people that are trying to sell books. In reality, what we need to face is the revolution technologies we have in our hands, and how this is going to change the world from a politically, economic, and social point of view. And the massive GDP creation that is going to happen in the next few years, that is going to increase inequality. We need to solve this, and we need to have social responsibility as a society to find mechanisms to be more inclusive with people. So we need, first of all, to invest in education. And as you were saying, we need to be solving real problems. Otherwise, it makes no sense what we are doing.
Absolutely, you're 100% right. And when people ask me, in these kind of panels, are you afraid of artificial intelligence? I said, I'm more afraid of human stupidity.
Exactly. Artificial intelligence is a set of tools, to be more efficient in a very narrow activities. It's just it.
Yeah, and just like a very, very simple, example. A computer doesn't know the difference between papa, papá, and papa. 3 different words in Spanish, 3 different meanings. You tell that to a computer, cannot figure out the difference between them. So it's not that smart. So it's far from intelligent.
Yeah.
So
I think we need to be way more real. I think, should we open it for the last minute for you?
Yeah, last minute. Any question?
Anyone has a question?
Just one.
We would love to answer a question.
She's right there.
Thanks for the discussion. It's been very. My question is addressed to Alonso and Aznar. You said you are a B2B. Step with
Did you repeat the question?
No, I can repeat it.
Yes, but for the...
No, I can repeat what she said.
Okay, thank you, but still.
So basically, my question is for you, Alonso from Afiniti. You've said you're a B2B company, and you said you work with big companies. So how do you do to actually enter these large corporates and bring them your AI?
Okay, that's a great question. Do you have 1 minute to finish?
You don't, actually, but there you go.
Okay.
What can I say?
I will answer quick. So I would say 2 components into that very quickly. First of all, when it comes to innovation and when it comes to new technologies, unless you have like a top management support in those big enterprises, nothing really happens. Because there is a lot of key stakeholders to align, and these companies move slow. So you need the right stakeholder to move things. And the second component into that, and to be honest, this is one of the things that drives me nuts, they need to understand that the technology companies, we are not consultants selling AI. Because what typically happens, the partner of you pick a large consulting company, will go and see, you pick the CEO of a large enterprise, they have been working a lot together, and they will say, hey, you need to get into AI. AI is the future. And Mr. CEO, who doesn't really know what AI is, he's going to say, yeah, okay, let's go big in AI. This is amazing. So, they will launch an initiative, they will budget $100 million, they will hire a bunch of consultants, they will produce thousands of slides saying transformative and strategic, and a few years later, nothing really happens. Like, no return, no economic value. The consultants will get a few $1 million. Everybody's happy, and they will move to the next thing. And let's go back to the key thing. We believe that artificial intelligence is required to be solving a concrete issue, and it's required to be measurable. And I have nothing against consultants.
Thank you for coming.
That is those guys.
Thank you very much.
No.
Sorry?
Well,
Sorry?
are we going to get presents?
Momento. Sorry, I have to jump the protocolo, so come back. I have a final question
Yes.
for both of you. Just answer yes or
gonna get
no.
presents?
Do you like magic?
Yes.
We do like magic. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. The most important thing about the presentation, when you see a guy dressed like that, he's the rich founder, I'm the employee.
The question was, do you like magic?
We love magic.
Do you guys like magic? Well, if you do, I suggest you to move from your seats and that you guys join us at the French row, because what you're about to see has never been done in South Summit before. Y ahí lo dejo. Round of applause for
Gracias.
Óscar and Alonso.